Tourism is the cornerstone of Manitoba's economy, bringing billions in visitor spending, supporting tens of thousands of jobs, and contributing to strong, vibrant communities across the province. I'm Rhiannon Blacher. I'm the Director of Marketing, Sales, and Visitor Experience at the Manitoba Museum and a board member at the Tourism Industry Association of Manitoba. On behalf of TIAM, I am excited to welcome the Honourable Nellie Kennedy, Minister of Sport, Culture, Heritage and Tourism, for a conversation about the future of tourism in Manitoba. All right, so let's bring this close to home. What's one of your favorite tourism experiences in Manitoba, and how does this experience shape your perspective of the sector's potential?
Oh, wow. I can't tell you how wonderful it has been. It's such a privilege to have been appointed as the Minister for Tourism. And I've had the really huge privilege of traveling across our province. I was already a huge fan of Manitoba before I was in this role. I've lived here all my life. I think we have incredible offerings within the tourism sector, but I've gotten to experience some really remarkable things. Just over Christmas break, my family and I went to Elkhorn Resort and spent time in Riding Mountain, and it is just such a beautiful place. The community is so welcoming. We had such an incredible time. This past February, I went so many places within our province. I got the opportunity to go to Churchill. I went to Thompson for the Manitoba Winter Games. I got to go to Pea Sioux Falls. It's just beautiful, and I can't wait to go back in the summer to see the difference, but it's such a beautiful place. I was at the Paw for Trappers Fest, which is just the hospitality from the Paw and OCN and surrounding areas was just like nothing I've ever experienced. I love the North. I was able to go over the summer, last summer, to Morris for the Morris Stampede. I grew up on a farm and in the country. I had no idea that the Morris Stampede was so huge. So it was so much fun. And the hospitality that the mayor and his wife and all the folks there showed were just incredible. The Dauphin Country Fest, wow. Also hospitality and the music and folks, just seeing so many people there from across our province, just having the time of their life. People will punctuate their social calendars according to these festivals and these things that are happening within the year. And Manitoba is so unique that way. Winnipeg Folk Fest, people come from all over the place. And so I just feel very proud to be able to be in this position and highlight those incredible offerings that we have as a province for Manitobans and the rest of Canada and the rest of the world to take part in.
So Minister Kennedy, tourism is a powerful economic engine, especially in rural and northern communities, where it can be the primary industry. Yet it often doesn't receive the same attention as sectors like mining or aerospace. How do you elevate tourism's profile as a core economic driver and employer at the provincial level?
Well, I think that it's really important for our province to recognize that tourism really is a major economic driver within our province, and we do understand that. You look at the 25,000 jobs in the tourism sector, that's no small feat. And so I think it's really important for myself as minister really to uplift the industry, to magnify and amplify that figure to folks so that they can understand just how much of a driver it really is within our province, and really uplift the folks who are doing this incredible work every day to make sure that our tourism sector is thriving and can really contribute to our economic growth as a province.
So when you're at the cabinet table or speaking with Treasury Board colleagues, how do you advocate for tourism's value?
Well, I see my role as Minister of Tourism, and especially around the cabinet table, as really for me to be uplifting the tourism industry, to ensure that my cabinet colleagues, and our whole government understands just how big of an economic driver the tourism sector is within our province and how important it is. And as well, I think really uplifting the incredible tourism offers that we have in Manitoba. It's incredibly diverse landscape, our arts and culture scenes. We have so much to offer, and I think it's my role to really be the public relations person of that, to ensure that people across Manitoba and across our country and the world really understand just how much Manitoba has to offer.
What more can the industry do to support that case and ensure that tourism is part of a broader economic conversation?
Well, in regards to funding and our budget, last year our government was really happy to raise the funding model back to the 95/5 model for Travel Manitoba, which we're really excited about, and it was very well received within the industry. And I think our government has really shown that we take the tourism sector seriously, because in this year's budget, we are really happy to announce some stable and predictable funding for the Manitoba Lodges and Outfitters Association. And that's really important because those are operating dollars. And so that really signifies to the tourism industry that we know that they need stable, predictable funding in order to really plan and be a part of the tourism industry long term. We've also provided stable and predictable funding that's going to be ongoing in last year's budget to the Indigenous Tourism Association of Manitoba, which is really important because they do great work as well. And both of those organizations really do shore up our tourism industry and really help it be the incredible industry that it is within our province.
So this is all about developing a provincial tourism strategy. So we've seen strategies released for critical minerals and economic development, but tourism hasn't yet had a dedicated roadmap under your government. When can we expect work to begin on a comprehensive provincial tourism strategy? And do you see a role for the tourism subcommittee on the Premier's Business and Job Council in developing a strategy that's industry-led?
Well, I think that the Tourism Subcommittee on the Premier's Business and Jobs Council is a really important first step. I see that as a starting point. We recognize that having folks on this council is really important from the tourism industry. They're going to be able to provide a lot of information that's going to be able to help us see where we're going to be long term, say in 5 years, 10 years in the tourism industry, and I think that's really important. So we're looking at this as a really good first step. And with regards to the previous year, there's been a fair amount of uncertainty over the past year with regards to, our unprecedented wildfire season. And of course, the political climate that's happening to the south of us, it creates some uncertainty. And so I think, what's really great about having the subcommittee for the tourism folks on the Premier's Business and Job Council is that, they're going to be able to elaborate on what's required in the tourism industry, right? They're going to have people who are speaking to that. And that can only be good with regards to, making recommendations to our government and seeing really where we can move forward within the tourism industry.
So TIAM envisions a workforce built on accessible training, mentorships, and long-term career pathways. How can the province support this vision and help shift perceptions of tourism from seasonal or low value to stable, rewarding careers?
I want to say that your vision is my vision. That's really important to us, right? Like, we see the 25,000 jobs that occur within our tourism industry. You're right, there's seasonal workers, but there's also ongoing long-term professional jobs that are a part of that as well, right? And I think you really do need both to have a thriving tourism industry. And so I would say, I have close working relationships with my colleagues, the Minister of Advanced Education and Training, to ensure that, there are those spots open within our colleges and universities to ensure that folks who are wanting to take up, these courses and training have the ability to do so. What I really think, people need to know is that our government really is committed to growing our economy, making sure that there are really good jobs for folks. And so working directly with Minister Cable and Minister Moses to ensure that there's training opportunities for folks and that people are able to enter the workforce and make the tourism sector a part of their career choices, right? I think that's really important, and our government is really happy to do that work.
TIAM is advocating for a commission-based agreement with Travel Manitoba and an updated ROI analysis to quantify tourism's economic impact. We know that outside events like COVID and wildfires can have major unpredictable impacts on the sector. How can the province balance a long-term funding structure with this volatility while funding tourism in line with economic contribution?
Honestly, I think that our government's commitment is quite clear. We reinstituted the 95/5 funding model to Travel Manitoba, which I think signals to the industry that we understand what a major economic driver tourism is. You know, in the last year's budget, there were funds as a part of that went directly to Indigenous Tourism Association of Manitoba, and it will continue to. That will be stable, predictable funding, which we were hearing from the folks there that is something that they desperately needed. And we continue to hear about how grateful they are for that and the amazing work that they're able to do because of that stable and predictable funding. And then as well, like I had said, the Manitoba Lodges and Outfitters Association, we were able to provide funds in our budget this year in 2026 for the stable, predictable funding, right? That's going to be year over year. And I think with those funding announcements, it really does signal to folks that is something that's really important to our government. I think, it's really difficult with things that are unprecedented. In the wildfire season last year, the political climate that's happening south of the border, those are things that we can't necessarily anticipate, and that can actually, affect the tourism industry. But I think it's really important for us to look at what's happened and to be able to make decisions on where our dollars are going and what will really make the biggest impact for the sector, because we recognize how big of an economic driver it is for our province. And so we want to be really responsible with that.
All right, so Minister Kennedy, you kind of mentioned this earlier, but the discussion about Indigenous tourism in Manitoba. So as visitors seek out more authentic experiences, there is significant growth potential for Indigenous tourism across Manitoba. We were pleased to see some dedicated investment supporting Indigenous tourism in the last provincial budget. What do you see as Manitoba's role in continuing to support the growth of this industry to ensure long-term sustainability that advances economic reconciliation?
I think this is a really important piece of the work that I'm doing within the tourism industry. Our government is committed to economic reconciliation, and I see our support for the Indigenous Tourism Association of Manitoba as a part of that work. And I was quite clear about that when I made the announcement last year that there is finally going to be stable, predictable funding put in the budget for the Indigenous Tourism Association of Manitoba. And the work that Holly and her team have done it's incredible to see what she has been able to do with very limited resources. And since, last year, I've been able to hear about updates of what her and her team are doing now with this predictable funding, and it's just incredible, the work that they are doing. And so I look forward to continuing to support them and to really ensure that, they have such authentic experiences to provide to people, who live in Manitoba, people who are traveling to Manitoba. And we hear from around the country that is something that people are looking for, is the authentic Indigenous tourism experience. And so it's wonderful to see all of the tourism operators that are a part of ITAM and to see their business models and what they're doing. And these are in northern and rural communities, a lot of the experiences and the tourism operators that are out there. And so it provides that ability to have people live in their home communities, to make a living doing something that they love and they feel passionate about. So our government is very happy to support that.
And it's a great economic contribution to those communities. So
yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.